are. And potentially Will.i.am could have, used. Potentially Will.i.am could use some lessons from Mr. Bartlings in the Super Bowl halftime because, to be honest, I just wasn't terribly impressed.
To be honest as well, I like being honest, as I know you do. It was weak, and I gotta give a shout out to my girl Christina. She might have messed up the lines, but boy, can she belt one out.
You know what? She just sings. If banshees were something that was considered positive, she would sing like a banshee. But unfortunately, it's not. So I'll just use the term angel.
I'll be taking over the play-by-play in this upcoming third quarter. Just to let you know, for certain, I am not. Let's say.
Well, let's just say this, Mr. Bartlings. You know little to nothing about basketball.
This is true, but you know what I know a lot about? It's passion. I know a lot about I just know a lot of things, and I'll try to find a way to incorporate them into what we're doing here in the booth at WIT. Watching these young men preparing for the second half of the game, it's really exciting to see them just get a chance to refocus, regroup, kind of clear their mind, and set themselves in a place where they can maybe push themselves a little bit harder.
Yeah, into the second half, I look to the Pirates to potentially maybe change up some defensive strategy. We might see the return of Sylvester Alexander. And in case you missed the first half, Sylvester Alexander is a force on the basketball court, and certainly one of the top players in the tournament. And unfortunately, he took a quick 3 fouls and has been on the bench for the rest of the half. So, the Grant Park Pirates certainly missed his impact and his presence on the court for the majority of the first half. Just like to send out a shout out to our junior varsity basketball head coach. Here we go. We'd like, again, sorry that I was interrupted there. We're going to send a shout out to the junior varsity head coach, Mr. Dan Shinkarik. And Dan is the incredibly lanky individual that's hanging out by the fire exit. He's nodding his head at me right now, and we'd like to, we can't tell you enough. We can't say enough about his efforts this year with the junior varsity program, and as is evident in how effectively the sweepers are sweeping the floor. He is truly just a master organizer, and we just. So again, Mr. Bartlings will be taking over the play-by-play, and I'll be moving into more of a role of color commentary, and it will be.
Okay, Luke Amon, of course, a little deja vu, passing off to Ryan O'Connor, number 11, Konrad Porzanski. Pass it to number 5, and Grant Park getting possession of the ball. Number 1, Sylvester Alexander, back in the game, looking to take charge.
Yeah, you know what? It's great to have Sylvester back in the game. From up here in the booth, we really can tell how much he wants this victory. He wants to stay on the winning side of the draw.
Definitely, if a victory was Tweety Bird, Sylvester would be want to catch that bird.
You know what, and it's a turnover for an easy basket for the Pirates, and now again the lead is down to 10. I'd like to say that when we are saying booth, we are really talking about a small table that has some wires on it. It's not much of a booth, so if you hear some background noise, that's potentially where it's coming from. But you know what? Unfortunately, we don't have the budget here to build the soundproof room that, you know, to be honest, we deserve.
Well, once again, to be honest, I want to bring us back to the game. Sylvester looking to make some moves while Holy Cross has possession of the ball. Number 11 driving down for a shot. No success there. Looks like the whistle was blown. I'm going to assume that it was a foul on Holy Cross since someone seems to be recovering from a concussion. Let's see, number 4, Ryan O'Connor, composing himself as he takes his first foul shot.
Yeah, you know what? I noticed on that last drive up the court, Sylvester Alexander played quite cautiously on the defensive, down low defensively. Obviously, looking to avoid that 4th foul, because that will be disastrous for the.
Well, it certainly would be devastating for his team, as he is a key player and he's a mover and a shaker. And shake he will as he gets the ball. Trying to give some direction on the court. Sylvester still in possession of the ball. Looking for number 10 and the shot.
Again, another board down low by number 20, Matthew Vooks. Like, he's just, Grant Park needs to find a way to keep him out of the paint.
You know, we want to keep it safe here too. Let's try to avoid injury in the process of making that happen. If you know what I mean.
We always encourage playing within the rules of a particular sport. And you know what, the unfortunate thing is those rules somehow, it seems, were violated as number 10 stands at the charity line.
It's very true.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you one more time.
Please do.
Before I start being dishonest with you. As I mentioned earlier, the Grant Park Pirates have changed up their defense, and they're looking to do a bit of a full-court press here. And it worked effectively the first time they've run it, and turnover, and looking to gain some baskets and start clawing their way back in this game. And there they do, with an easy deuce by number 11. Lead down to 7.
Okay, Richard Boss trying to make something happen as pass off to number 5. Number 5, look around for a pass off to Mr. Ryan O'Connor. He looks back to number 14, unsuccessful for the shot. Grant Park trying to push into the Holy Cross territory, and that was a little bit of a collision there, trying to see what the result will be.
You know, what's going to be called is a block on number 4. You know, that foul could have gone either way. I'm sure the Holy Cross coach is not too excited about it. Looked like he had established a position. But you know what, again, you're not going to change the mind of those gentlemen in the striped shirts.
Certainly won't.
And number 24 will make it count for 1. You know, something I like to say is that the ball never lies. So if 24 drops both of these, you know, chances are it was the right call. And there it is for 2.
Well, speaking of not lying, there we go.
Yeah, well, and again, the press beaten effectively by the Crusaders, and an easy deuce for number 11.
Conrad Pasench. I'm going to call him Conrad P for now, as his name is slightly difficult to pronounce. My apologies to his family. Sylvester with the shot. No success there. Holy Cross in possession of the ball.
And again, they're not going to. Looks like they're going to fall back on turnovers or rebounds. They probably will continue pressing after made baskets. And again, another offensive rebound by number 20. We'll see who this foul ends up being called on. It could be called on a host of Pirates.
And certainly, that's one of the things I've never wanted to encounter in my life is a host of Pirates. That's,
you know what, especially Somali Pirates, because they will steal your ship.
Has anyone watched the news recently? I mean, it's wild. Getting back to the game, though, Sylvester passing it to the gentleman in the striped shirt. Grant Park in possession of the ball.
We'd like to send, as the ball comes up the court, we'd like to send a shout out to one Mr. B. Trunzo. I'm pretty sure he's a doctor, but I can't say that with 100% confidence, so I won't. But we'd like to thank him for being here today, looking after the safety of the athletes. He's here as our registered athletic therapist out of the University of Winnipeg. The University of Winnipeg will be supplying athletic therapists for the remainder of the tournament, and it's great to have the lead man here tonight.
Once again, Nicholas Svitilic passing off the ball to number 24, Sylvester Alexander. contemplating his next move. Unfortunately, no success there. Holy Cross in possession of the ball once again, number 5, Luke Amon. Of course, working on his aim and getting the ball in the hoop. There we go.
And Luke takes it down low with a beautiful lay-in with his left hand. Probably, you know, chances are he's a right-handed gentleman.
I think Holy Cross's Luke Amon just said a big amen to that basket.
And unfortunately comes back with a double dribble on number 24 of the Pirates.
Now, a double dribble occurs when you start dribbling the ball and then touch it with both hands as you dribble again. It's a little bit of a tricky sport when it comes to the dribble, but you got to make sure you follow the rules. Number 14 now in possession of the ball, Richard Boss. Oh, and Graham Park, interception. And the attempt, almost with the alley-oop, was Sylvester Alexander, and he catches the point there.
You know what, the Grand Pirates got lucky with the save by Sylvester Alexander. I know that the coach of the Pirates won't be happy that that initial lay-in wasn't made. Those are baskets. When you're down as the Grand Park Pirates are, those are baskets that you just can't afford to miss.
You know, we can't ever forget our technique, Mr. Keith. And even when we're desperate, simple techniques such as dribbling, as was lost there on Mr. Alexander for the moment, can cost you big points. And Holy Cross now, a little struggle there. Might see a little bit of ground and pound, and fortunately not.
We got ourselves a jump ball. Grant Park will take it at the end line. Sylvester Alexander will inbound. To be honest, I'm kind of surprised that he would be inbounding the ball, as I'd expect him to be the shooter. But it works for two, nonetheless.
That was number 4, Garrow Goro.
And the Grant Park lead is cut to 5. Or sorry, the Holy Cross lead is cut to 5.
You know, I have to admit, Mr. Keith, I'm trying to keep track of all the players here on my roster, but when the numbers aren't in numerical order, it makes it a little bit challenging. Getting back to the game, Sylvester, the one name I won't forget, as he gets 3.
Sylvester Alexander cuts the lead to 2 with 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Looks like some subs coming in for the Holy Cross Crusaders.
Well, the Pirates certainly have been working hard to steal some points here. I really should correct myself. There's no stealing here. They're worked for those.
No, yes, you can't say that they've been stolen. Sylvester Alexander, again, as I commented earlier, is playing defensively, playing a little bit. You know, he's playing like he's on 3 fouls. He's not as aggressive as we had seen in the first quarter. And you know, to be honest, that's just smart basketball. The Pirates know that they can't afford to.
Grand Park coach not quite impressed with the call being made by the gentleman in the striped shirt. We'll see if Holy Cross can take advantage of the call.
You know what? We're going to, as we've done throughout the program. As we've done throughout the program, we're going to send out another shout out to one of the beautiful, magnificent departments at Tech-Voc High School. We're going to take a shout out to the photography department, and as you might notice around the floor, there's some lovely ladies and gentlemen wearing black vests. Those are our photography students, and they're shooting with Canons, as a matter of fact, just as a plug to Canon. But
can we do that, Mr. Keith? Can we plug Canon? Are they an official sponsor?
They are not an official sponsor, but we like to plug the products that are used by the Tech-Voc Hornets. And these photography students are taking shots, and they will be edited and then placed up on the website, which leads me to my next shout out, which is to the ITS department here at Tech-Voc, who is a very important part of the streaming process and is updating the live scores on the web and so on and so forth. And you know what? It makes a big difference when you get all these different clogs working the wheel.
Getting back to the game, number 11, Nicola S. looking to make some moves on attempted pass to Sylvester Alexander. Alexander not impressed with the lack of aim of the pass. Holy Cross now with the ball. Number 4 to 14, and that's, once again, we need to avoid making those shots from below the hoop. Grant Park trying to make some moves, and the whistle is blown, traveling. Number 14, Richard Boss, getting it started as he passed it inbounds to Holy Cross.
And here we go. Right now we see the Grant Park Pirates. It's tough to tell whether or not they're trying to press or not. We got Sylvester Alexander up in the front court.
Once again, too, by Richard Boss.
Who is getting easily passed around, and unfortunately Mr. Alexander doesn't have anyone backing up. So I'm not sure if that's a change or a problem with the communication or maybe just a scheme that I don't quite understand.
Yeah, you know, it's true, Mr. Keith, that communication is essential in any team sport. And whoa, big fall for Holy Cross's number 5, Luke Amon. Okay, a lot of pointing and whistling happening here on the gentleman stripe.
You know what? I think that for the remainder of the broadcast, we're basically going to we're not going to keep referring to these people as the gentlemen in the stripes. And we'll be back. What? As I was saying, we're not going to refer to them as the gentlemen in the striped t-shirts because, you know, there are a lot of people that are wearing striped t-shirts today, and actually, sitting in front of me, I see a gentleman wearing a striped shirt.
Well, I'd say that's a little bit more of a plaid, actually.
We will, you know what, that is irrelevant, Mr. Barlings. It is a shirt with stripes on it.
Very true.
We will refer to these, we will refer to the officials of the game as the zebras because of the arrangement of the black and white stripes.
You know, an interesting thing about zebras, my wife spent some time in South Africa several years ago, and she told me that the sound a zebra makes is ka-ha-ha, clatter. Now, it might sound a little strange, but when you take your trip to Africa, you let me know when you get back.
You know what, I'm glad you brought that up because I am very excited for a trip that I will be taking to Africa in the next couple months, and you know what, it should be, it'll be really enjoyable, there's no question about it. Some beautiful scenery. Hopefully we'll see a zebra. Hopefully they'll be better looking than the zebras that we have here tonight. And we have a visitor to the booth, one S. Constantini, who is the dance instructor here at the TechVoc High School. And you know, she always does a great job with DTC. Right now she's on DTC 6. She's on DTC 6, so there's 6 years of just solid entertainment coming out of the dance room. And you know what she has? We attribute a lot of that success to her brand new floor that everybody else is really jealous of.
Yeah, you know, I've actually stepped foot on the floor, and certainly when you've got a surface like that to work on, you're making headway for a lot of success.
Yeah, you know what? And we noticed that actually, turns out I was wrong earlier in the broadcast. The first game, or the third game tonight, will be St. Ignatius, all the way from Thunder Bay, and the Kelvin Clippers. And I have a feeling that there might be a young Clipper here in the audience. And it looks like the young Kelvin Clipper also has a friend, and that is, you know what, that's very good. It's nice to see people having friends.
Yeah, you know, speaking of friends, it's always important to be friends with your teammates because relationships on the basketball team, positive relationships, can make a big difference when you're on the court, and really support the communication of your team. Using that as a segue, I want to just say that it's time to get back to the game. It's time to get back to the game. Can I say that? Is that? Yeah, I don't want to be harsh.
You know what? I'm going to tell it to you like it is, Mr. Barblings. You need to be calling. You need to be telling people what is happening in the game.
You know, it's true because there might be some people out there whose monitors aren't working, but they certainly can use their speakers. So we should give them an idea of what's happening here in the court. Taking the foul shot is number 14 for Holy Cross, Richard Boss. And like a boss, let's see if he can make some shots.
And there it is, one for Boss. And you know what? The Holy Cross Crusaders have adjusted to the press, and now again they're starting to cloud a bit of a lead.
You know, I didn't get a chance to say this correctly last time, but what I really want to say is it looks like that Boss can really call his shots. Anyway, I digress as we return to the game here. Grant Park really wanting to close the gap here that Holy Cross has created with the points they've been scoring. Speaking of points, that's 2 by number 4, Ryan O'Connor. Just having my picture taken here by a lovely young lady from the photography department. Just want to give her a nice pose.
Again, you know, that's the group that we just plugged in. You know, they're doing a great job, and I'm really excited to check out some of the images they were able to capture on the TechVog website.
Yeah, especially the one they just took there of myself. I'm thinking, you know, I've really taken good care of myself lately. I didn't shave, but you know what? I definitely think my looks will still shine through. Getting back to the game, looks like the boss is moving down the court. Oh, and the drive.
And the basket goes.
And it counts. That's 2, and he gets the foul shot.
His third.
You know what, Mr. B, they're making some subs here. And again, I can't comment enough about the fitness level of the Holy Cross Crusaders and the Grant Park Pirates. They have not really reached deep into their benches tonight in the over the length of this broadcast anyway. And he gets it to fall. That is a shooter's bounce, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? You know what they say? We'll take it any way we can get it.
You know, I've actually never said that before.
Well, that's fine. So we got 40 seconds left here in the third quarter, and again, the Holy Cross Crusaders are starting to claw out a bit of a lead, you know, getting to the point where it might be insurmountable for the Grant Park Pirates, but we know the coach is going to look for them to fight right to the end and to leave it all on the court, because that's what a good team does. That's what a championship caliber team does, and you know what, and to be honest, that's what we see at the WIT tournament, is teams that are championship caliber, that are willing to fight tooth and nail to the end of the game.
I mean, really, it is called a championship tournament, and so we want to see a championship attitude and a championship effort here at the WIT. Number 5 for Holy Cross, possession of the ball. Looking around the court, trying to see who is open. He passes it to number 4 and back to number 5 to number 13. A lot of passing back to number 5, number 4 with the ball. Let me guess, oh no, and he drives.
He drives, and number 4 will get the harm. Number 4 will get the harm. Number 32 will be called with the foul. There have been a lot of fouls in this quarter with both teams in bonus. You know what? Not good. I'm sure coaches will not be impressed, but he'll make that count. Number 4.
It's true, we do want to avoid fouls.
That is a violation of the protocol of the game. The third quarter wraps up here in the Hornet Dome, and we are going to send this
after 3.
Ready? Okay, go ahead.
The third quarter is wrapped up. The Grant Park Pirates down. We're going to send it downstairs to Lindsay, who has a special guest. Lindsay?
Hi, I'm joined here outside the gym with Karen Nomuke. How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
So how long have you been a part of WIT?
I would say it was 2004. My daughter was involved with broadcasting, and she was one of the announcers that year.
Oh, how interesting. What roles were you a part of when your volunteer time here?
Well, that first year when she was doing the announcing, of course, there was lots of coaching and helping, right? And being supportive. So that was one thing I did that year. And then brought some cookies for all the kids, I think. And then following that, it was working in the canteen. And then it was the big job of being security with that Daniel Keith. He and I were the security, you know, short people doing security. We did a great job. And then it's been on doing various things all the way through, helping all the broadcasting kids, working in the canteen again, and doing other things in the gym.
Well, it sounds like you had a big part. It sounds like this show couldn't have been done without you. So during your time here, what kind of changes have you seen during the WIT broadcast?
Well, I see a lot more students involved, and I see a lot of supportive staff coming out and helping, and I think that's a real credit to TechVoc when you see a lot of involvement by the staff and students. I also see lots of new signage and about new posters of all the teams, and that really looks good.
Well, thank you for joining me, Karen Nomug, otherwise known as Mama Broadcasting. We're going to get back to the third quarter highlights.
Okay, getting back to the high school basketball action. Holy Cross with possession. Very quick point by number 14, Richard Boss, as we get back to the action. Sylvester Alexander must be a little frustrated here by the lead that Holy Cross has made. Definitely the Pirates are hoping to make some waves and drop some bombs. Speaking of bombs, there goes Sylvester Alexander.
You know what? I'm thinking that we're going to be referring to those as cannonballs because they are the Pirates.
You're right. You're just reading my mind there, Mr. Keith.
Just a technical point to the broadcasting department. We've turned down our volume just a touch. Hope that hasn't affected our sound. Again, a harm, and the
Zebra handing off the ball to number 11, Mr. Conrad P.
Ball be inbounded down low. Choosing to go away from the stack, they've got a bit of a spread formation. Certainly, we'll see a pick down low, looking for an easy basket. And here it is. And the pass in is late, but still a brilliant play by number 14. Unfortunately, he's not able to make it fall.
Of course, once you've got possession of the ball as a player, you want to avoid someone else from smacking out right outside your hand, so you got to keep that in tight. Sylvester Alexander once again with the point. Pass number 5, Mr. Luke Amon. And Amon with 2.
You know, we'd like to say how happy we are to have the Holy Cross Crusaders here all the way from BC. We know that it was obviously it could have been a very long drive, and it was still a very long flight. There is a range of mountains in between Manitoba and BC. There is also another 2 provinces, one being Alberta, famous for the Calgary Flames and the oil sands, and the other being Saskatchewan, famous for flat.
And speaking of flat, certainly this quarter isn't falling flat as the action is escalating, while the Grand Park Pirates are really trying to make a difference here and bridge that 20-point gap. Now they're leaving it open for Mr. Boss to try to make some more gains for his team. Holy Cross, hey, if they can get more than 20, they'll go for it. And the attempt unsuccessful. Richard Boss looking for a pass. And the Zebra blows the whistle.
You know what, I've never actually seen a Zebra blow a whistle, but I imagine that it would be quite entertaining. Hopefully, on my trip to Africa, I'll have that opportunity. I guess what I'd be nervous of is the Zebra biting me as I attempted to place the whistle in its mouth. And
that could be a problem. Back to the game. There goes the Boss. It's also a common name for Bruce Springsteen. Let's see if Richard Boss can get a sweet song here played on the court, and there he goes.
You know, to be honest, I'm wondering if that's Ted Danson down there, Tony Danza down there, as we're wondering who the Boss really is. But now we know it's number 14 for the Holy Cross Crusaders.
And that's Richard. And Richard, once again, speaking of him, he's got the